Hello everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to complete my Alaska Cruise album with a closing page. And I'm going to do a modified grid style single page layout. So off camera, I've cut this cruise ship image from my Cricut, and that will be the center focus. And I'm going to use these papers from the Nature Walk collection, along with some Night of Navy and balmy blue cardstock. So I'm going to layer this blue patterned paper on top of the script paper, and I'm going to leave a wide margin around the edges. So I think I will cut it at 10 by 10 square, and then I'll mat it. So let me bring my trimmer in here, and we'll go ahead and trim this down. Just want to make sure. So go ahead and cut that at 10 inches, and then we'll flip it and cut it at 10 inches again. And that way we'll have a nice wide border. And then I'll bring in this Night of Navy, and I'm going to cut it, flipping things around to see which direction I like the pattern. And I'm going to cut this one at 10 1/4. So I have a thin border of Night of Navy underneath the blue to separate it, and layer it on top of the script paper. So that'll be our frame for the grid. So we can set this up like that. I like that. Okay, so like I said, the ship is going to be the center focus of the layout. So I've got it on top of some white willow cardstock, and I'll trim that down as needed. So I'll lay my photos out. So I'm just revisiting a couple of favorites from the cruise. I didn't have any set photos after the Canada stop, so I went back and just picked a couple of favorites. So I'm going to use the light side of balmy blue, and I'm going to cut some mats for my photos, and then a couple more squares to balance out the grid style. So it's not a traditional grid. You'll see what I do in a minute, so that I'll have a balanced look here. Okay, so this set is called Sunset Coast, and it has this water line, and then you can do a reflection on the water with the stamp. And so I'm going to stamp this piece that has the ship on it. So I'll bring my MISTI in, and we'll place that piece of white cardstock in the MISTI. I'm going to do the large waterline image first. So I want to place the ship down so that I know where to place the stamp. And then we'll take the Cricut image out and then pick up the stamp, and we can do some stamping. Okay. So I'm going to ink up my stamp using Night of Navy. The Cricut image, it's cut using blueberry bushel. And I pulled all of the blues that are part of that pattern paper that's in the background from Nature Walk. So we'll go ahead and stamp this image out. And then I'll turn this around so you can see it in a second. And then that area, well, let's get this cleaned up first, and then we can set up the next stamp. Okay. So the area where the white is in the center, you can leave it just the way it is. I think it looks cool, but I'm going to add some balmy blue ink and layer that in. So that stamp, it fits perfectly in that area where the white is. So go ahead and pick that up with the Door of the Misty and then ink it up with balmy blue. And I was a little messy with my inking here, so make sure it's all cleaned up before you take it to your paper. Okay, we'll go ahead and stamp this out. And this is such a cool effect. You could do like some yellows or oranges to do like a reflection of a sunset on the top of the water. There's lots of things you can do with this set, but check that out. Okay, so then my ship is going to be above it. I like that. Okay, so I've matted this, I've trimmed it down, and I've matted it with Night of Navy and Balmy Blue, and then I've got my other mats for my photos. And we'll go ahead and set everything up for the layout. So the photos are going to be on top of that center image, and then the photos that are the bottom left and top right are going to slide underneath. And it has to do with the way the ship is covering that centerpiece as well. I think it works. Okay, so this embellishment, it's super old and it's like a license plate. It's metal and it says Alaska on it. So I want to use that. And then I'm going to bring my sticker sheet in. So I like to cut my stickers from the carrier sheet so that I still have a chance to play with them and I don't have to commit quite yet and before I stick them down. So I'm going to cut a few of these from the carrier sheet, like that one. And just looking and deciding which stickers I want to use. I still have a lot of choices left. And we'll get those cut out and then layered on those two open blocks. Do a couple of clusters of stickers just for a little added interest. Okay, we'll add that one. And I'll pull a couple more just to kind of build up some sticker clusters and interesting things for these other two blocks. Okay, one last thing. Sorry, my cutting's off camera here. Pretty basic. And everything keeps flying around because I haven't glued it all down yet, but that's okay. We'll get it. Okay. I think that's good. All right, so before I start sticking everything down, I'm going to ink all the edges of the balmy blue mats with Night of Navy. So I have my sponge applicator here, and I'm just going to sponge around the edges rather than adding another layer of cardstock. Just going to do a real thin line around the edges and add inking to all of these blocks. Okay, now we're ready to actually stick everything down, and I'm still deciding where I want things to go, but I have a good idea here. So we'll add that, and then we'll get that license plate sticker down. It's not really a sticker, I had to use glue dots. And these last couple stickers we'll add. And then I was looking at it and I still wanted a little something extra. So the name of the ship is the Star. And so I started thinking about that, and with an excellent suggestion from my friend Jenny, I was at a retreat when I made this. She suggested I die cut some silver stars. So this die set is called Swirled Designs. and it's got some great outline stars, just kind of scribble stars. And I've cut it with this is a textured silver foil. And I've cut several of the stars. There's some that are solid in different sizes, and then some are the outline sort of scribble design. And I'm just gonna scatter a whole bunch of these all around, just to add some extra shine and bling. And I just thought it was a great suggestion. So thank you, Jenny. Okay, so we'll just get them scattered, and off camera, I'll get them all glued down and secured. Okay, and then to add even more shine and bling, these are low profile dots, and there's some darker colored ones. They're sort of a iridescent night of navy, and they've just got some sparkles and little shimmer to it. And I'm just going to scatter a whole bunch of them around. They come in different sizes, so we'll add that for a little more interest around the stars, and then we can call it done. I'll pull this closer to the camera. So I'll have still shots over on my socials, and I'll put a playlist at the end so you can see all of my videos for the complete Alaska album for all of the layouts. And then at a further date, I will pull all of these layouts and do a complete video showing the layouts closer to the camera so you can see the whole album. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I'd sure appreciate it. And then you'll be able to find all of my videos. And thanks for watching.